Hey y'all, and welcome back to the party. It is me, your girl BrittReacts, and the first thing I want to say is I'll never forget the first time like biting into a Chick-fil-A sandwich and tasting all of the goodness of Chick-fil-A. I just want to start there. Anywho, this is our friend, the Fat Electrician, on his Fat Files page. Why Chick-fil-A outperforms the competition? Capitalism done right. Let's see what he has to say. Chick-fil-A will never lose because of the customer service. I think before the deliciousness of the fried, grilled chicken and the french fries and the lemonade and all the other things, the customer service is what keeps people coming back to their core. I stand on it. If you disagree with your mama, not me. All right? That's all I gotta say.
This just might be my favorite business model of all time, and I think that it is the epitome of capitalism done right.
Bye.
Today we're talking about Chick-fil-A. It is the most successful restaurant chain in America, and it has done that despite being canceled like every 5 minutes for the past decade. So at a bare minimum, regardless about how you feel about Chick-fil-A, you should at least take the time to understand their business model because it's really good. And when I say it's good, that's an understatement because they're not just the most successful restaurant chain in America, they are the most successful by like 10 miles. They absolutely body the competition. It's not even close.
And they're closed
let me break this down for you. The most profitable restaurant chains of 2023 are as follows. Starbucks with $35 billion, McDonald's with $25 billion, and then coming in third is Chick-fil-A with $21 billion. So how is it that the third most profitable restaurant is somehow the most successful? Well, per capita matters, right? Because Starbucks is coming in first with $35 billion, but they've got 38,000 locations. McDonald's coming in second with $25 billion, but they've got 40,000 locations. Chick-fil-A is coming in third place with $21 billion, and they have 2,900
That's what I was going to say. They're
locations.
definitely in the thousands. Look at that on the like southern side of things in the eastern. That's crazy because when I first was introduced to Chick-fil-A, it was only in the South. I remember when Chick-fil-A hit New York and it was on like NYU's campus, I believe, and it was a thing. And I had it like growing up, being raised in Georgia. I'll never forget when it hit New York, and now look at it all up the East Coast. Wow. Yeah, I mean, again, people are always going to come back to what's good. You don't have to oversaturate your market. And they go where they are wanted, honey. They go where they are wanted, and they've never changed the format. Ever.
Place with $21 billion, and they have 2,900 locations. Okay, these other restaurant chains are 12 times larger and have roughly the same output as Chick-fil-A, meaning that the average Chick-fil-A is like 12 to 14 times more profitable than your average McDonald's or Starbucks, which is absolutely fucking insane. And then it gets even crazier when I remind you that Chick-fil-A isn't open on Sundays, meaning that Chick-fil-A is outperforming all of its peers with less locations, working less hours a day, working less days per week. And we're going to get into how that's possible right after a word from our sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Rocket Money. It is your all-in-one finance app capable of doing pretty much anything you could want. It does all the normal stuff that you would expect, like help you set a budget, monitor your credit, even track your net worth. But what sets Rocket Money apart is they help you identify every single subscription that you are paying for monthly, and half the time, you forgot you were even paying for that. Okay, me and my wife do this all the time. There's always some football game or MMA fight that I want to watch and some TV show that she wants to watch, and for some reason, it's on some streaming service or app that nobody has ever heard of. So we have to go get the app, get the streaming service, sign up for the 7-day free trial just to watch our show. Then we forget we signed up for the free trial, and then we're getting charged $7, $8, $9, $10 a month every month for the next 3 years, and I have no idea. Okay, because online streaming has just turned into cable again, let's face it. Is Rocket Money going to fix that problem? No, not really, but they are going to help you quit paying for it. In addition to that, recurring monthly payments that aren't necessarily subscriptions, so like your cell phone or your internet provider, Rocket Money will actually help you negotiate to lower your bill and save you money there too. So if you want to give Rocket Money a try for free, you can go to rocketmoney.com/fatfiles. I'm going to have it also linked in the description down below. Let's get back to the video. Anyway.
Y'all, is Netflix $22.99 a month? I wouldn't know. I don't pay for it. We somehow still finesse by using my mother-in-law's, and every now and then it'll pop up and say we're not in a household, but somehow we get around it. Don't tell them I told you that. That's insane if that's how much it is. I just want y'all to know. And this video is from 2024 or 2023. one or the other, not right now. Also, I'm maybe someone will get Rocket Money to come holler at me. I want y'all to know we use it. When me and my husband first got married, and just, we were talking about combining our finances, he went into Rocket Money. I didn't have the app. He went into it and realized he was paying, like, he was like a single man. Like, he didn't have any kids. He didn't have a wife. It was just him living the bachelor life, and he had so many subscriptions. He had no idea he was paying. Like, I think the total he saved was like $400 a year or something crazy. Like, it was insane. It was insane. On like 7 or 8 apps. Anyway, Rocket Money is good. I'm just adding on to this ad. It's the least I can do is tell you to go use Fat Electrician's code, because he's carrying me on his back across these YouTube streets. He's carrying me.
So let's take it from the top. All right, our story begins March 21st, 1921, when this old guy was born. Well, he was a baby at the time. He was just born. It was his first birthday. Well, his 0 birthday, which doesn't make sense because technically that literally is his first birthday, but we don't call it your first birthday until you've already been alive for a whole year, which
makes no sense.
Birthdays are dumb. Moving on. Sorry, anyways, that's Truett Cathy. He is a founder of Chick-fil-A, and when he was 20 years old, Pearl Harbor was attacked, at which point I assume he thought to himself, you know what this world needs? Less fascism and more dope-ass chicken sandwiches. So he joined the army. So he goes, he fights in World War II. Fast forward, 1945, Allies win. He comes back home, crosses defeat fascism off the to-do list. Only thing left, make a dope-ass chicken sandwich. First things first, gotta have a restaurant, right? So he opens up his own restaurant. It is called Dwarf House, and it is open 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. Every day except for Sunday. He's a real religious guy. He just believed in taking a day. Right, so he opens up his own restaurant. It is called Dwarf House, and it is open 24 hours a day, 6 days a week. Every day except for Sunday. He's a real religious guy. He just believed in taking Sundays off. So that's what he's up to for like the next 21 years, from 1946 till 1967. He's running this singular restaurant that is his, getting a bunch of experience, learning, doing the whole shtick. His current restaurant has this enormous menu. Then one day in 1967, he's working with this food distributor that offers him a deal on chicken breasts, because they are selling chicken breasts to the airline, and the airline can only take these little tiny chicken breasts that fit inside the little itty bitty airline food trays. So all the chicken breasts that he's going to be getting are just the big juicy ones, and he's like, yeah, I can figure something out. From there, he goes into his lab trying to figure out the best way to cook chicken breasts, and he decides he's going to pressure cook it inside fancy peanut oil with his secret blend of herbs and spices. And
the peanut oil is the key, my friends. Okay. I want to learn about the sauces. How do we come up with the sauces? The Polynesian sauce? In this house, they love Chick-fil-A sauce. I could do without it. The Polynesian sauce? Baby. Okay, this is interesting. So where I grew up in Gwinnett County, Georgia. It's about 25, 30 minutes, depending on traffic, north of Atlanta, right up 85 north. And on Pleasant Hill Road, there is still to this day a Dwarf House. And it is a Dwarf House because it has the little red door in the front that is the size of maybe a 5-year-old. You walk through it, and then it has, regular doors, but it is a Dwarf House. And the Dwarf Houses are kind of like the unicorns of the franchise, if you will. There's not many of them, and they are like the flagship, the OGs of it all. And that is the one that I grew up frequenting before they kind of blew up and were everywhere. That was the closest one to like where I lived. So yeah, I didn't know that was the name of it when it first started. I also didn't know it was 24 hours. Also, the picture said Dwarf Grill. It didn't say Dwarf House. Was it Dwarf Grill at one point? I know somebody knows. This is a phenomenal story. I'm locked in.
He decides he's going to pressure cook it inside fancy peanut oil with his secret blend of herbs and spices, and that recipe is still locked up in Chick-fil-A headquarters to this day. So he's done it. He's made the best fried chicken the world has ever seen. So he's like, okay, only problem, it's pretty greasy. Like, it's really greasy. It's too greasy to eat with your hands. So he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to stick it inside of a hamburger bun with butter and 2 pickles and make it a sandwich. And thus, the chicken sandwich was born, or at least that's what Chick-fil-A says. They say that they're the ones that invented the chicken sandwich, and this was it. So he's like, you know what? I'm done with this enormous menu selling all these different items. I'm just going to sell this chicken sandwich. I'm going to rename my restaurant from the Dwarf House to Chick-fil-A, and this is all I'm going to sell. And the rest is history, okay? Fast forward like 60 years, guess what they're still doing today? They are selling that exact chicken sandwich, which leads me into the first principle of why they're so successful. They follow the simple rule of if it's not broke, don't fix it. Okay, the chicken sandwich is perfect. Leave it alone. Nobody touch it. Just keep selling the exact.
They currently have a smokehouse barbecue chicken sandwich, which if I'm going to just save your money and get the regular one, because I got it, like early last week or the week before. And I don't know what I was expecting, but there wasn't enough barbecue sauce on it. The bacon, okay. It's like, I already get, how do you get your order? Oh, this is fun. In the comments, tell me your Chick-fil-A order. I toggle between two. I'm really into the chicken strips these days, like post having my son. I don't know what happened. I became a chicken strip girl with the waffle fries and a lemonade. I love the Sunjoy of any type. The Sunjoy is fantastic. My breakfast order is controversial because I'm not a biscuit girl, but like just chicken and biscuit is too much. I love the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit though. I take the bottom or the top biscuit part off and just have an open face sandwich. Phenomenal. And then the hash browns inside of the Polynesian sauce. Oh my God. And then my other like evening Chick-fil-A order would be a number one, no pickles. Sometimes I leave the pickles and I eat the pickles sans the sandwich. Add American cheese, dip it in Polynesian sauce. Or I get the spicy one. Again, no pickles, add American cheese. Listen. It just depends. It depends on my vibe, the day I've had, and what I'm feeling. But though I don't venture out of those. I have had the grilled like deluxe. That is delicious. And when I'm like trying to be more healthy, I will order that. But that's few and far between. Listen, I want to know your Chick-fil-A order. I want to know your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner. Put it in the comments down below. I know I just basically said the whole menu. Shut up. Judge your mom. Don't come over here judging me. There's no space for that. We encourage positivity over here. Don't come in here being a haterator. All right? Stop drinking your haterade. Don't be a haterator.
Okay, the chicken sandwich is perfect. Leave it alone. Nobody touch it. Just keep selling the exact same thing that got you here. I know that sounds simple and dumb, but most companies can't help but fuck this up.
That is a Cheez-It inside. 16 times the size of a regular
Taco Bell is selling
Cheez-It.
chicken nuggets right now.
I present to you the Cheez-It
Taco
Crunch Wrap.
Bell.
Okay, and I can give you a real life example why
nuggets.
changing shit up and having promotional items all the time is a terrible idea. I used to eat Doritos all the time. Then, one day, Doritos came out with this new flavor called Buffalo Ranch Doritos Jacked, and they were the best Doritos on the planet by like 10 miles. And I probably ate a bag of them every day for several years straight. Then, one day, they just disappeared and they quit making them, seemingly for no reason. I can only assume it's because it was driving down the sales of all the other flavors because they were the best Doritos ever. And now, guess what? I just don't eat Doritos anymore because every time I eat a normal Dorito or a Cool Ranch Dorito or a sweet chili Dorito, I go, oh, it's like a shittier version of Doritos Jacked Buffalo Ranch, and I don't even like it anymore. Okay, because you gotta...
Okay, go back and edit your comment and tell me what's your favorite flavor of Doritos. I'm controversial again in my house. They love my husband loves the spicy nacho. My daughter loves the red bag. I will tolerate the Cool Ranch bag if I have to, but the breath that comes from a Dorito is so offensive to me. I'm like, get it out of don't talk to me. If you're gonna eat Doritos, it can't be in a car. It can't be anywhere where there's not like open air. So if I had to pick a flavor, this is coming from the girl that loves a bag of Funyuns. Like, who am I to judge a Dorito eater? I hear you. I know. But also include your favorite Dorito bag flavor or Dorito flavor, not the bag flavor. That's crazy. I'm going to go with Cool Ranch. What is yours? This is fun.
It's like a shittier version of Doritos Jacked Buffalo Ranch, and I don't even like it anymore. Okay, because you gotta realize, people are creatures of habit. I would have habitually eaten a bag of Doritos Jacked every day till I died if they gave me the option to. But they took Doritos Jacked away, then they essentially broke my habit for me, and I just never went back to eating normal Doritos, okay? So, it was a giant mistake to have the promotional item in the first place, because if they didn't have that, I probably would have just kept eating normal Doritos for the rest of my life. But no, they fucked it up.
Stewie, it's okay.
Which leads us right into our next principle, the KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. And this is really where Chick-fil-A excels. Okay, let me break this down for you. Here's their entire menu. They sell chicken sandwiches. That chicken can be fried or grilled, and it can come with cheese or lettuce if you want. And then they also have chicken nuggets and chicken tenders. That's it. That's like the whole menu. And some of you are like, wow, that's not a lot of variety. I'd probably get bored if I went there a lot. First of all, unlikely. It's the best chicken sandwich on the planet. Secondly, even if you did get to the point where you're like, you know what? I don't want a chicken sandwich. Cool. Then don't go to Chick-fil-A, okay? If you don't need plumbing work done, don't call a plumber. But if you do need plumbing work done, you call a plumber. And if you want a chicken sandwich, you go to Chick-fil-A because it's the best chicken sandwich, okay? There's nobody on the planet that's like, man, I would really enjoy a chicken sandwich right now. And they pull up to an intersection and there's a McDonald's right next to a Chick-fil-A. 0 people on the planet.
Hey, don't sleep on the McChicken. And now they have a spicy one. Don't sleep on it. But I'm not like, I'm not craving a chicken sandwich. And he's right, going to McDonald's. If I want some real deal chicken, because we all know the McChicken is like some type of substitute chicken. But don't, listen, I'm going to tell you my McDonald's McChicken order. Because I don't eat their burgers or whatever that is. If I go, I'm doing the nugget or the McChicken. I know it's disgusting. I know it's not healthy. I don't go often. Actually, I go maybe once every like 4 months. Because the fries and the sweet tea have me in a chokehold. Anywho, I've gotten so far off base. But now I'm curious to know your McDonald's order if you want to add that to the list. McChicken. As is, add mac sauce and diced onions. Thank me later and send me a CashApp as a gift. I just changed your life. You're welcome. Ooh. Dang. Or do I want to make chicken today? No, I'm going to the gym today. I can't do that. That's bad.
They pull up to an intersection and there's a McDonald's right next to a Chick-fil-A. 0 people on the planet are going to go to McDonald's for that chicken sandwich, okay? None.
Fair.
Nobody. Chick-fil-A
Fair.
has picked its
Fair.
arena of battle, and when it comes to chicken sandwiches, they are the undefeated heavyweight champion. Which honestly is exactly how you should tackle pretty much anything in life, okay? Pick the one thing that you want to excel at and just be the best in the world at it, and you're going to make way more money than anybody else, okay? Let me break this down for you. Every person that you've ever looked up to, pretty much ever, you've admired for the fact that they are the best in the world at something, or they excel at one thing in particular, okay? Michael Jordan hasn't played basketball in decades, but everybody on the planet knows who Michael Jordan is because that motherfucker was the best at playing basketball. Okay, you've never had a role model in your entire life where you're like, wow, I really look up to this person because they're pretty mediocre at a bunch of random shit.
That's me. I'm a Jill of all trades. I've mastered nothing.
Okay, so picking the one thing that you want to be the best at and pursuing just that is a good strategy for pretty much anything. But when it comes to restaurants, it is uniquely awesome. And here's why. Picking one type of food to be the best in the world at makes the menu smaller. And making the menu smaller not only makes your employees better and the food better, it makes the customers better. Because the menu is small, customers are going to have less things to choose. They're also going to have less things to remember. So after you've been to a Chick-fil-A like twice, you know the entire menu. And even if it is your first time there, there's less things to choose. So you're going to pick one quickly and then you're going to move it along. That means the lines are moving faster. You don't have people standing there looking up at a menu with...
Are they? Chick-fil-A, are they? I used to think Chick-fil-A was one of the fastest fast food restaurants. And then it started to feel like certain restaurants were fast and certain weren't. And now it just feels like, I don't know, y'all know I'm like in the Buffalo area. There aren't enough Chick-fil-A's. I think we have 2. I don't know. I've only ever been to one, but I think I've heard there's 2 because I am still very new to the Buffalo area. And the line at the Chick-fil-A near Walden Galleria, baby, we've got to do something about it. And I mean, for as jam-packed as it is, it does move. It moves, but like the parking lot is jammed. Like Beyonce is inside. And baby, every time I pull up, no matter what time of day, I'm stressed out. But they do have phenomenal customer service. I also order ice from Chick-fil-A or Sonic because I only will eat pellet ice. Argue with your mom. And twice I've gone and they've forgotten to give me my Chick-fil-A ice. I'll order food as well. And then by the time I get to the window, because it's been so long, I forget I ordered pellet ice and I drive off without my pellet ice. And I call the manager. God bless. I forgot her name. Young girl. She was great. She was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Just come whenever you get here. Just like let them know I set the bags of ice on the, tell me your name. Like, it was phenomenal. They're great. Everyone, always, Chick-fil-A, the customer service. I beg to differ. He hasn't mentioned it yet, but I know he will. The customer service is why people come back in their mind, like subconsciously. I don't think people like give it enough credit. But when you think about having a bad day and you have a choice to go sit in a long line at Chick-fil-A or McDonald's, since that's the comparison he gave, your mind is going to go to Chick-fil-A because your spirits are going to be lifted by the sweet. And it's always the young people. It's always the young high school, college kids that are like, okay, my pleasure. It's just the best thing. It's the best thing.
Move it along. That means the
video.
lines are moving faster. You don't have people standing there looking up at a menu with 10,000 different items, drooling on themselves, desperately trying to figure out what they want. No, it's like Aldi. You have one option. Pick it and move it along, okay? So now, not only are you getting a delicious chicken sandwich, you're getting it even faster, improving customer satisfaction. And there's still more to it, because now on the other side of the cash register, back in the kitchen, there's less items on the menu. That means that there's less variables, and less variables almost always leads to less fuck-ups. So not only are you getting a delicious chicken sandwich, you're getting it fast, and you're getting it how you wanted it to be in the first place, okay? Customer satisfaction is through the roof. Okay, and at this point, some of you think, surely I'm exaggerating, and having a smaller menu can't make the business that much better. But you're wrong, and we're going to go over McDonald's menu together, and I will prove it to you. All right, McDonald's menu, let's see what we got going on here. First off, we have the Big Mac, and then we have the Quarter Pounder. First question right out the bat, why do we have the same type of meat with different sizes of patties, okay? Go with the smaller patties, and then if they want more meat, just give them more patties. Don't have different sizes for no reason. It's more variables, and somebody's going to fuck it up eventually, okay? Because me, the fat guy, on lunch break while I'm at work, orders a double Quarter Pounder with cheese, and then they accidentally give me normal Big Mac sized beef patties. I'm going to be sad, and then I have to get my burger remade, and it slows down the whole world. Okay, next order of business. Why do some buns have sesame seeds and some don't? Okay, do I care about sesame seeds? No. Does any rational person care about sesame seeds on the bun unless they have an allergy? Absolutely not. But we all know that there's some Karen that's going to use that as an excuse to drive back around and go through the drive-thru again, bitch out the employee for 5 minutes because she's trying to get a free meal over it, okay? Now you've ruined the employee's day, you've slowed down the line, and you have to make more burgers, all because you can't decide whether or not you want sesame seeds on your buns, okay? Just make a decision. Okay, next question. What the fuck is the difference between a McDouble and a double cheeseburger? They look like the same exact thing. Oh, I see here. It's one piece of cheese. That's the difference. You have a whole different sandwich with a different name over one piece of cheese. Okay, just pick how you're making a double cheeseburger. Do you want it with one piece or two pieces of cheese? Don't have two different options, because now I have to listen to the next 10,000 people.
I have never noticed. Again, I can't even tell you if I've ever had a burger from McDonald's. My daughter is a chicken nugget girl. When we go, again, we don't go often, but she specifically asked to go during the Angel Reese burger thing. And if you know, you know, we're a basketball family. She loves women's basketball. Caitlin and Angel Reese are her sun, her moon, and her stars. She was like, Angel has a meal there. I think it was just a Quarter Pounder meal, but you know, they like give certain people, and I think it had a barbecue sauce on it. So now that meal is gone, we've gone one other time since that meal's been gone. And she's like, what burger was that? And I literally, now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't know. I wasn't sure because there's so many options. But now that I'm looking at it, I think it was the Quarter Pounder with cheese bacon. That's what that says. Quarter Pounder with cheese. Oh, Quarter Pounder with cheese bacon. Not bacon Quarter Pounder with cheese. Who's in the corporate office at McDonald's? Let's have a chat. This is dumb. This is dumb. What?
Or two pieces of cheese. Don't have two different options, because now I have to listen to the next 10,000 people ask, what's the difference between the McDouble and the double cheeseburger? One's cost 7 cents more because it has an extra piece of cheese. Okay, that's dumb. Get rid of it.
They're the same picture.
All right, moving on. Chicken and fish, adding 2 more types of meat, which is more variable, so that's bad right off the bat. Secondly, best sounding one is the Bacon Cajun Ranch McCrispy. Now, unfortunately, it's a limited time only item, and it's probably the best one because that sounds way better than a regular McCrispy, which means I'm never going to eat a regular McCrispy ever again, because I'm always going to be thinking about the one that got away, the delicious Bacon Cajun Ranch McCrispy, okay? Stop doing limited time and seasonal items. Every time I lose a limited time item, it's like getting dumped by a girlfriend, okay? Quit putting people through that. Either keep the item or don't keep the item. Okay, next order of business. Why are we adding a third additional bun? Okay, this one also has no sesame seeds. Just put the no sesame seed bun on this one. Or if this bun is better, just get rid of the shitty bun altogether. Okay, then we come to this philosophical conundrum. What is the difference between the McChicken and the McCrispy? Can somebody explain this to me?
I'll explain it to you. There's a huge difference. The McChicken is like a cheap chicken patty, and I don't know what it's actually comprised of. Again, don't judge me. I eat it. And then the McCrispies is more of a Chick-fil-A white chicken breast, right? Like, look at it. You can tell the McChicken is like one of those like lame school chicken patties, and the other ones are the chicken breast. The filet of fish is like my mom's favorite thing, and she tried to get my daughter on that train, and I shut that down. But so many people talk about how, like, for fish from McDonald's, it's good. You know, we're not going to talk about is the McRib. We're not talking about that. I used to eat that growing up because it was my mother's favorite with the onions, and now the thought of it is like how I used to eat chitlins. Pray for me
on this one, or if this bun is better, just get rid of the shitty bun altogether. Okay, then we come to this philosophical conundrum. What is the difference between the McChicken and the McCrispy? Can somebody explain this to me? That's rhetorical. I'm fat. Of course I know the difference. Okay, this one right here is where they're trying to knock off Chick-fil-A. I know that because it looks like they're trying to knock off Chick-fil-A, and secondly, it comes in a foil bag just like Chick-fil-A, and this is their original chicken sandwich, which is basically a frozen hockey puck that they call chicken that they popped in the microwave beforehand. Okay, if you're trying to rip off Chick-fil-A, just commit to it and get rid of this one altogether. Okay, moving on. Okay, then we have the chicken nuggets.
Hey, stop it!
Okay, so that's 2. Now we've got 10 for a total of 19 different items on their entree menu. Okay, now let's just go ahead and pop over to Chick-fil-A and look at a piece of art. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 items.
No, Nick, where's the salad?
Now, I'm going to ding them here because that is a different bun, clearly. However, I can see from here that bun looks like it tastes like shit. So clearly it is a healthier bun somehow that's going with the healthier cut of chicken. So at least that makes sense, okay? Okay, moral of the story, less items with less ingredients equals less fuck-ups, which makes everything move faster. And this is where I really think they get capitalism right, and that principle is slow is smooth and smooth is fast. You see, there's only 2,900 Chick-fil-A's, and they're not in a hurry to put up a bunch more. They would rather have one really good Chick-fil-A as opposed to 10 pretty mediocre ones. And that's why one Chick-fil-A makes 12 times as much money as a McDonald's. And having this mentality allows them to focus on the original goal, which is just having good food. When you compare Chick-fil-A to McDonald's as far as opening up a new location goes, it's insane how different their mentalities are. Because McDonald's is meticulous, they go full psychological warfare mode on where they're gonna put all of their locations. I'm making these numbers up, but this is roughly what their process is. If you come to McDonald's with millions of dollars, say, hey, I wanna open up a McDonald's, they're like, cool, give us the general area. Then they send people out to sit in potential locations, and those people just sit there and count how many cars drive by. Click, click, click,
really?
click. And McDonald's knows out of every 100 cars that drives by, 3 of them are going to pull into McDonald's, and they know that every single person that pulls into a McDonald's on average spends $12 or whatever. Before McDonald's even breaks ground on the new restaurant, they can predict.
That's such an interesting thing because not until I moved to Buffalo, again, I promise you, I don't know what's going on here. I have gotten, I've seen people like gone through the drive-thru, like right the car in front of me and just order. I know like McDonald's is known for their like fountain drinks, you know, like their Sprite is like the spiciest Sprite on the market, and just order like a Coke or a Diet Coke. I've never seen that before until I moved here. Must be good.
Spends $12 or whatever. Before McDonald's even breaks ground on the new restaurant, they can predict within $10,000 how much money that location is going to make that year. Chick-fil-A, on the other hand, doesn't give a shit. They're going full Field of Dreams approach. If I build it, they will come, okay? They can't tell you within $10,000 how much money you're going to make in your first year, but guess what? They can tell you it's going to be more than any fucking McDonald's around. And because they grow so slowly, they're not like a normal franchise where just some rich millionaire dude can come up and be like, hey, I want to own a Chick-fil-A and never actually work there. No, Chick-fil-A owns every Chick-fil-A. They own all of it. They own the restaurant, the property it's built on, and all the equipment inside of it, okay? If you want to run a Chick-fil-A, you become an operator, at which point you get 50% of the profits of that restaurant that you run, okay? They are extremely picky about who they let run Chick-fil-A's. You almost always have to have worked there for an extended period of time and worked your way up. These people end up making over $250,000 a year, and they have to have a very, very small investment. I think it's like $10,000, and it's not even technically an investment. It's more or less a security deposit, because if this person goes to a different job or they retire, they actually get that money back, assuming that the restaurant that they were running is in good condition when they leave. According to their website, like over 10,000 people every year apply to be an operator and run a Chick-fil-A, and they pick like maybe a couple hundred. They have a less than 1% approval rate for people going through an extensive interview process that includes writing essays, background screenings, and everything else. Now,
here's another thing that Chick-fil-A does, and I don't know, Nick might mention it in the last 4 minutes of this video, but one of my very good friends from high school worked there throughout her entire high school, like all 4 years, freshman year till we graduated, and even after, and they paid her college tuition. And in that way, I think you get, especially when you're like, you know, you could be worried about hiring youth and their dedication and their responsibility, but if you're hiring youth at the premise of paying their college tuition, then you're more likely to hire these young people who are very serious and responsible and have some dedication because they're working towards something, which I think is such a cool thing. I don't know if they still do it. I could assume because they don't change anything else, but I remember that being such a big thing for her. They paid her tuition. She went and got she went to school for dance. Shout out to you, Brooke. Hey, girl.
Extensive interview process that includes writing essays, background screenings, and everything else. Now, obviously, there's pros and cons to this, just like everything else. One of the cons being, while you are the operator, you're technically not the owner, so you kind of always have that dangling over your head, like you're not actually the owner of the Chick-fil-A, you just run the place for somebody else. But at the same time, I think that it also incentivizes all the employees that work there, because there is actually a clear path of like success. There's a real career there where you can actually work your way up the ranks and start making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, potentially at a job that you started when you were 16 years old working in high school. Okay, like I think it does a lot to the morale and the overall culture of an entire company to actually have a visible ladder there that people at the bottom can climb up to the top. Because I mean, let's face it, a lot of these restaurants, like, yeah, technically you could own a McDonald's, but also I think McDonald's charges $50,000 or $60,000 just as a franchise fee to open up the restaurant. Then you also have to pay for the restaurant. Basically, you need like between $2 and $3 million to open up a McDonald's. So as a person working at the cash register, that dream of potentially owning one, I guess technically is possible, but also highly, highly unlikely. And the problem with that is, instead of getting people that work their way up from doing dishes in the back all the way to running the store, you just get a bunch of multi-millionaire assholes that want to buy 50 McDonald's so that they can make even more money while also not working. Whereas Chick-fil-A, it's really hard to get a single Chick-fil-A, and then if you prove yourself and you're really, really good, sometimes they'll let you get a second or a third one. Less than 15% of all Chick-fil-A operators, which is their equivalent of like a franchise owner, actually run more than one Chick-fil-A, and they're all highly successful. So at most, you're only allowed to run Chick-fil-A. While with other chain restaurants, you can just buy like 60 of them, make a bunch of money, and never have to set foot in the place, and then your culture sucks, nobody cares, it's just a giant money-making machine to you. Whereas with Chick-fil-A's strategy, even the people at the bottom of the totem pole could be like, oh shit, that's the guy running the show right now. He's here, he cares, he's helping me. He's been through what I've been through because he worked his way up. And I think that does a ton for the culture of a restaurant or any business, really. And I think it's pretty obviously visible from the outside if you've ever been to a Chick-fil-A. I think it's the best service out of any fast food restaurant I've ever been to. People are usually happy, and the statistics support that. They have half the turnover rate as a typical fast food restaurant, and they pay a little bit more on average.
This is so true. I can't even tell you how many times I've frequented the same Chick-fil-A and see the same people there. Morning, like, you know who works the shifts. Like, that's so true. I didn't even think about the retention rate for their staff. Yeah, that's true. And that is a direct response to the culture of the business. And again, how they take care of the people. Like, if you hire a freshman in high school and you say, you show up to work for your 3 shifts a week, when you graduate, we will make sure you get a check to go to school. And I don't know if it's a full scholarship or if it's like a certain amount of money, but either way, who else is doing that? That's an incentive like no other.
Turnover rate as a typical fast food restaurant, and they pay a little bit more on average. In the same vein as slow is smooth and smooth is fast, this company also operates on little to no debt, okay? They're closed on Sundays, they donate to a lot of charity, and they don't really like debt. Dave Ramsey is absolutely in love with this company. And what I mean by this is, unlike other companies that go and get big loans to expand, they don't. They save up money, and once they have enough money to open a new restaurant, they open the restaurant. And I think that this makes the entire workplace environment better for absolutely everybody. Because now, the dude at the very top, the upper management levels, aren't freaking out about the bottom line. They don't have interest payments. They don't have payments they have to keep making all the time. It makes a low stress environment for them, which means they're not putting a bunch of stress and pressure on all the people below them. And that trickles all the way down throughout the entire company and just makes everything 100 times better. So in conclusion, whether you like Chick-fil-A or not, you should absolutely pay attention to what they're doing, because it is undeniable that they are an unstoppable force in the restaurant industry. They are the only restaurant to face nationwide boycotts multiple times in the past decade, and yet somehow they are still 12 times more profitable per restaurant than any of the other major restaurant chains. And they are somehow doing that with less menu items that have less variety between them, while working less hours per day and working less days per week. And it all comes down to basic common sense principles, right? Pick the thing you want to be good at and just be good at that. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't overcomplicate it along the way. And slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Just don't be in a hurry. If you can apply those 4 things to literally any situation in life, you're more than likely going to be successful at it. Thank you for watching. Best way to support the channel is go buy some merch over at thefatelectrician.com. Quack, bang, out.
Yeah, I mean, I know Chick-fil-A. Oh, let me wait till the last second. I know Chick-fil-A has had its controversies, right? They're super conservative, Christian. They have come out and like, you know, they don't support what they don't support. But again, they've always stood 10 toes down on it. They've never wavered from it. And if you don't like it, simply don't patronize there. Like, don't be a patron. Don't eat the chicken. But you're missing out, honey. All right, let me know your Chick-fil-A order. I want to know your McDonald's order. I want to know your favorite sauce, your drink. I want to know everything. I want to know it all. Talk to me down below and go and have the day you deserve. Bye.